what's up everybody? It's another week of SR Synth Weekly. I am, of course, the Redneck. We got some great artists today. We got some great music. I'm going to be playing a bunch of new ones and some couple of groups I've played before. So we're just going to jump right in and have some fun this week. First up, we have Famished for Blondes. It's an electronica group out of United Kingdom. The song they sent me today is Under the Planet of Chelsea. I hope I say that right. This song is a good start out for a thing because it kind of gives me that main title for, the sci-fi horror kind of feel. It's that main title of, it's showing the planet, city, and the panning through, like I've said before, like it's panning through it and showing the people. But, as it's showing the people, it goes, as the song progresses, it goes through and shows, a dormant evil starting to awaken. And all starting, you see it as it pans through the city, and it cuts to this dormant evil waking up, or coming like into the atmosphere, that kind of feel, and it just gives you that motion of the evil's about to ravage the land, but this is the main title of it. Also, it kind of gives me of a computer movie that where the future is computerized, and it shows the main crew. The main character and his crew going into like a VR world or interacting for the first time, and they're kind of in an awe and scouring the area of kind of like curious. They're like they just went through the whole VR world and everything's they've just entered it and they've shown it, and they're just sitting around looking at everything everything in the world and it just shows up, and they're just sitting in an awe state. So both work for me because it kind of actually work in the same same movie. So that's just my opinion on it. Like I always say, let me know what you think. And we're going to start out today, like I said, it's Famished for Blondes, and it's Under the Planet of Chelsea.
Sitting pretty as the girl among the grey suits, faceless and mundane. Against the grain goes the girl, goddess of chaos, dressing for pleasure. Peroxide terror is the girl, spunk of culture over the counter. Provocateur is the girl. At the end of the kings and queens of London, there are monsters in your dungeons, crawling out of the underground to the shop at the end of the world. Kings and queens of London, there are monsters in your dungeons, crawling out of the
like I said, it kind of works on both levels. You know, I like to do the, you know, VR kind of deal where there's a dormant evil or dormant program. That could work on that. So let me know what you think in the comments below of the band, and make sure you follow them on their old social media, which is down in the description below. Next up, we have Hazmat. It's a synthwave group out of France, and the song they sent me today is Cybergenesis. They describe it as the first track of their eponymous EP. It's telling the creation of the first artificial intelligence, which will soon grow in power. I actually took that and started with that. I use this kind of like as a beginning sequence for the, you know, beginning sequence of you know, a movie where they're showing the computer code. Like, I'm not going to say Matrix, but you see the computer code being written, and as it written, you see the form of the AI start to come together, kind of montage, and then the AI you know, starts to come alive, and we get to see that in a whole sequence. Kind of gives me that. Also, kind of gives me on a whole other 180 degree spectrum from that. It kind of gives me that as like main team has entered a different realm. Where kind of like science and magic have become one. It's like the same thing, you know. They use science and magic, and it's as one to make different things. And it's like where the main team is going into that realm, and they're finding the evil who lets loose his main demon or his main plan, and the team has to use newly acquired magic or you know, newly acquired. I'll just say magic on that, and they have to stop, and it's kind of like the main theme for the fight of that. So it kind of gives me both of those. It kind of can work on the both things. You know, the AI has magically come alive and is, you know, destroying the world, and you know, the team has a new magic power program, and that becomes the main theme. It's a good theme for it. So like I said, let me know what you think. It's a great song, so definitely check it out, and make sure you follow them on their social media as always. This is Hazmat with Cybergenesis.
In the beginning, God created algorithms. Whoever sheds human blood, by human beings shall their blood be shed, for in the image of God has God made humankind. empty, darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters.
Like I said, I mean, it's just one of those, you know, it's a fight theme for like a magic or, you know, AI thing. I don't know why. I mean, it gives me that just feel, you know, or a beginning sequence of the AI coming to life. So like I said, let me know what you think of the group and make sure that you follow them as always. So, I mean, like it's a really good group and I like them. So, check it out. Next up, we have, I'm going to screw this up. It's Azriel. If I'm thinking about the angel type, it's Azriel. The song today is called Salvate T. I hope I say that right. If it isn't, I apologize. They're a dark synth group out of France. This song really kind of goes the more darker side. Gives me that good vibe. So let me read the description. It gets like, you were trying to escape demons, a demon army, but you understand quickly that there is nowhere to hide. I took that and moved on and added a little bit to it. This kind of gives me that anime horror kind of feel. We all know this one now, just used it. It's kind of like a Vampire Hunter D kind of feel. It doesn't, not 100%, but you know, just that same mood and vibe that it gives. You know, the evil horde's kind of chasing, you know, they're chasing the main group and they're trying to escape while fighting them all. You know, they're trying to fight all the demons and everything, and it's just, they seem surrounded and all seems lost about mid-song. You know, they're kind of like surrounded about mid-song, you can just see it. And then they use a special weapon about right at the climax of the song and escape to get out of the area. But at the same time, the main evil, you know, and they're still being chased, but they're able to escape. Also kind of gives me on that same token, the main evil has risen from the ashes and is seen going through the scene, just terrorizing things. You don't really see the evil yet, but it's just terrorizing the whole area, you know, without, you know, it's just scaring everybody. And then about mid-song, he stops and you finally get to see what the evil is as he takes over. And, you know, it just gives that whole, you know, I'm here kind of feel, and you get to see him. And it's just, you know, and then then once the song goes back into the main theme, he goes back to terrorizing everything while we're waiting for the good guys to show up. So that actually works on both ends. It could be, you know, the main evils send the horde out. So it's a really good dark song. You know, it kind of just gives me that, you know, like a dark chase song. So it's really cool. Check it out. As always, make sure you follow them. This is Azriel and as Salvate T. like I said, Azriel has that good, I like to say that dark horror anime feel. I don't know, it just kind of gives me that vibe. So let me know what kind of vibe that gives you down in the comments below. As always, make sure you follow them and support them, because that's what we're here for. Next up, we have the Warhorse. It's a group out of Los Angeles. They are a synthwave, synth punk, and dark synth. The song they sent me today is called Bone Apple Tea. I don't know. It didn't give me a description, but I went with this. It's kind of like the group is group is gathered in a new town or country, and they're going, they're indulging in the life of this new country or new town that they've never been before, and they're just indulging it, and they're enjoying the area while the main character is trying to get with the crush, and they're seen together slowly coming together in about mid-song. About mid-song, though, she's taken away and is lost, and he has to rescue her, or he has to rescue her from being kidnapped, or from whatever's happening. I'll use the new Spider-Man. That kind of works. That would work in that. So Far From Home. That would work in that. I mean, if it was kind of 80s feel, but it would work. Also, kind of gives me like the main character in the movie is kind of like this is on the other side. The main character is, he's fighting internally, dealing with a lost love, and is dealing with his own personal madness, as he deals with it, his own internal conflicts, the pain, the suffering, the depression, and he's dealing with the whole internal conflict, and then he feels alone, and he's fighting the pain. He either wants to deal with the loss, or he, can't go rescue her yet, and he's dealing with that internally. Both of those kind of work for me. Like I said, opinion's different. The opinion of the artist may be 180 degrees different from what I think, but that's just my view on it. It kind of works. It kind of works on the same movie too. So, but that's just the vibe I get. Anyway, like I said, check it out. It's Warhorse, and it's Bone Apple Tea.
Tattoo. Pride is a sin, yeah, going to hell. Swallow my doubt, turn it inside out, find out you're just a copy of everyone else. A curious case, an epidemic. What will it take to realize your life ain't worth shit? A curious case, could you call it despair? Tomato, but I want credit for saying it first. When every outcome comes down to income, how are we supposed to be in the future if there won't be one? A curious case, an
like I said, it just kind of gives me that love lost. You know, they've come together, they've they get in, and then get kidnapped, and then he's got to deal with the internal pain before rescuing her. I don't know, it just kind of gives me that vibe. Let me know what you think. As always, make sure you follow them. Really great music. Make sure you just support them and download their stuff. Next up, we have our good friend FromNostalgia. Played him before. As always, he's out of France. Good electro, synthwave, chiptune guy. Really great music and really good person. The song he sent me today is called Nostalgia. Hey. The description he gives me, and I'm kind of paraphrasing this because he gave me a lot of it. It's a man falling into his memories. There are many inspirations, and the end is a little sad because the way back from memories is not always happy. It also features the voice of Rico Pundrich. I hope I said that right. I'm sorry, Rico. Another great synth guy. You gotta check out both their stuff. This song gives me that. It kind of gives me that Future Ranger show. That 80s movie. Like a ranger. He's a future ranger going through space. It's kind of like the title sequence. Where we see the ranger in space running bounties against the bad guys. He's kind of like, you see him going through in his a space car or something like that, or a spaceship, and he's running kind of like he's collecting bounties and he's catching the bad guys, and it kind of gives you that whole title sequence on it. Also kind of gives me that, at the same feeling, it also kind of gives me that it's a computer sci-fi. The future is builds from a wasteland into it's a computer-controlled society. The people are seen going through all their lives at a high speed in like a computer verse. I don't want to say Ready Player One type, but kind of like that whole cyber computer verse kind of feel. And we see the main hero is shown entering the city for the first time. He's been there, but this is where we first see him in the first. It's his first showing in the scene. And it still works. He could be a a bounty ranger too for the verse, but that's just kind of feel what I get. Also on that same, it kind of gives me. I've said this before. But a lot of these always work for that. I don't know why. It's one of those like vehicle shows, where the main vehicle is being made. It's like kind of like Knight Rider or Airwolf, kind of that kind of thing. Street Hawk. The main character is the vehicle, and you see it being made. And it's shown for the first time with all its bells, whistles, and it's got all of its weaponry showing up. You see it, you see it in there, and it's just everything's, and it's just like panning through, and you just see it, and then it takes off and does its whole thing. That's kind of what I get from it. It could actually work on all of that. A computer controlled society, and the future bounty hunter has his vehicle, so it kind of works. So definitely check it out. And check out the rest of his stuff. It's all really awesome. Today it's FromNostalgia with Rico Pundrich with the voice, and the song is called Nostalgia.
There was a time, great, amazing, with less crime, and with less hurt. Sometimes, without a shirt, the days were brighter. Lighter was the air. The world is now a larger. But thanks, I have nostalgia.
I don't know. I kind of like the Space Ranger, the bounty hunter kind of thing better, but everybody has their opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments, on what you think of the song, and what kind of movie you think that would fit into. So, or what kind of vibe that gives you on a movie sense. But like I always says, check him out. Check out the rest of his music. It's really awesome. Next up, we have Robert Wolf. He's a electronic synthwave out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. He calls it a vapor, kind of like a synthwave vaporwave song. The song today he sent me is called SpeedStar. I kind of took that. This one took me a little bit because I didn't want to say the same thing I always do, but it always ends up that way. I don't know why. This is like one of those where you travel. He's traveling through space. He's traveling through cosmos in a spaceship, and the main and his partner are, they're flying through space and admiring the galaxy as you towards the end, kind of end of the show or movie, and they're going to their next adventure, and kind of gives me that outro, where they're just together. You see them going through space, and it just pans around. See them just flying off, and they're heading on to their the next adventure or the next episode. It also kind of gives me that, the main and the team on that. It's on the same note. They've beaten the evil, and they've just left the, for a brighter future, and they've jumped in there. They jumped in the spaceship, and they've jumped in there, and they're just traveling on, and they've got that sense of accomplishment. You can see it, but you can see that at the same time, they're weary, they're tired of, they're not sure what's coming next. But they're ready to, they're ready to take on the next challenge. But you can tell they looked tired and, just not ready to, deal with it. But they're happy that they've won, and that's kind of like what it gives you. It kind of gives you that they've won, and but they're tired, but at the same time they're ready to move on to the next adventure. And as that's kind of like the end of the show, and it pans out, and we get to the credits. That's just what I feel. And just gives me that, outro feel. I don't know. I just like that. It could be completely different what he's thinking about, but as always, I'm weird. But like I said, check it out. Check out the rest of the stuff. It's really awesome. Today it's a SpeedStar by Robert Wolf. like I said, it just gives me that outro feel of, you know, the winning, you know, they've just won and they're ready for the next adventure. That's just what I feel. So let me know what you think in the comments. And like I said, follow them all, and just make sure you're following by their stuff. So last up today, we have something really different. I mean like really, really different. This is Elizabeth Joan Kelly. She is a electronic ambient industrial experimental, and this is more of the experimental sound. I'm sorry, she's out of New Orleans also. This is a experimental sound that's really heavy. The song she sent me today is called 8 Weeks. Now, the reason I say experimental is because some of you are going to listen to it and go, this ain't music. It is. This is a good, chippy, experimental song, and it works for what I was thinking when I was listening to the song. It kind of gives me this whole feel. So just bear with me. The song 8 Weeks, it just gives me that Alice falling into Wonderland. It just, you know, you've seen, you know, falling down through the through the rabbit hole, and it just gives me that feel. Also, kind of gives me that feel of like Labyrinth, if you've seen it, you know, where she's. I just forgot the name of the character. Sorry, it's kind of like Labyrinth, where she's falling through. You know, she's after she's fallen asleep, and you see her falling through that whole dream sequence into the garbage pit. Kind of gives you that feel, you know, of the falling. It's just like, but that's part. That's if you can visualize that in those two movies, that just kind of gives me that feel. It's the, you know, the main character is falling into a vortex or dimension, and they fall into a whole nother world. And as they fall, you kind of see the different things in their own personal life that's happening. It's all happening at once behind them, and it's just like a whole, you know, just visual, you know, just a heavy visual, you know, against the person's face, and they just, you know, just see their whole memories. It's also kind of like after they've fallen into the new world, or, you know, Wonderland or whatever. We see the world. It starts out dark, but then you see the world start to manifest, and it just kind of like the whole world is just suddenly showing up in pieces. You start seeing it like growing. You know, you start seeing their own little like skyscraper types and homes, and then all of a sudden you see the creatures, or the, you know, the inhabitants of the world, and then you start seeing them start showing up, and it's just like, you know, the whole what's happening. You know, it's just like the whole manifestation, and becomes like the whole sequence of events. Also gives me on a different note. It kind of gives me the Magician, like a magic movie where the magician is opening a spell. You see the parts being made and everything. You know, the parts being entered and all the stuff going around to make the spell, and the spell being cast. And while it's doing that, you see the apprentice or the other characters that are there to, you know, get the magic spell or get, you know, learn from it, and they're just in awe of everything happening. And it happens to everything around him as the spell's being cast. I kind of like the Alice in Wonderland a little better, but you know, kind of that feel, or this, you know, they're falling into the vortex into a new world. That's what I feel. So give it a listen. It's really it's interesting, and I kind of like it, and it just gives me that feel of it. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Comments below. And definitely check this out. Check out the rest of the stuff. It's really cool. And to end today, this is going to be Elizabeth Joan Kelly, and the song is called 8 Weeks. like I said, it was a little different, but I liked it and it works. And it gave me a lot of visuals to work with too. It may be experimental, but it works in the context of what I was doing, you know, of a movie theme, and the visuals and the vibe it gave me. Just, you know, it works for, you know, it works great for a great song too. But that's it for today, for this week, and I hope everybody enjoyed this, all the music here. As always, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow, as always. Also, make sure you follow all the artists, and you know, check out the rest of their music. As always, I'll leave the description below, in the description panel. Follow them on Twitter, their Spotify, you know, their Facebook. You know, follow everything they do. Also, if you haven't followed, follow me on my social medias, which are also listed below. If you've noticed also below, I have a bunch of different synthwave and synth websites and other live streams. Make sure you go follow them, because I'm just a small person. They have a lot of great music and great artists on their websites also, which is basically, we're trying to, you know, grow the synth family, because hey, that's what we're here for. I mean, we have great artists, great music, and you know, it's just, you know, we want to grow this synth family. So make sure you follow them, all the artists, and hope you find some great artists that are new. So check all that out. As always, thank you. Thanks for all the love and the sharing, and sharing of all of my music, and I'm sorry, all of my shows. I really appreciate it. And as always, have a great one. Have a great week, and I'll see everybody next week. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.